Conversations with My Sister, a live talk experience with delegates, queens, and allies of the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant about the world of pageantry and various daily topics. I am Director Lorene Coleman Ross, a woman full of ambition, passion, and a love for my fellow sister. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with My Sister. As my intro said, I am Director Lorene. I can't even say my own name, Lorene Coleman Ross. It's pageant season, baby. It is time for us to get down and dirty and big. You know, queens don't really get dirty, but just let you know we can. However, I'm just getting into the fact that now we're starting to make you all aware of what's going on with our pageant season. And I'm so pleased to announce that we have two phenomenal women with us tonight. And these women are phenomenal, not only because they're my sisters and I love them, because it is what it is. They are something special. Let's start with talking about the fact of our inaugural queen, Queen Relita Clark. She's been by my side since 2000, I'm going to say the end of 2016 into 2017, pretty much, where she was our very first queen of the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant. And from that point on, with our heads been pushed side by side, we have came up with a program, the mentor program, and she helped me foster that program. And this year, our Miss Exquisite Queen, Miss Exquisite is amazing. That's 40 and over. I'm over 40 now, so I really love it now. You know, I really, really love it. Identify who I am. Our Miss Exquisite Queen, who went to nationals and grabbed that first runner-up trophy as well in 2020. Yes, ma'am. Dr. Christy Thompson. Yes, I had to pronounce her name out for I won't get in trouble, y'all. So let me tell you what's happening. But before we start, I want to make sure you understand tonight is going to be all about sisterhood. We're going to talk about what it means to each of us. And we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifference. Okay. But before I start, I'm going to give you a little bit of information about us as a pageant, a definition that we came together and developed in our inaugural queen, put those words together, and it is now in our definition that we stand beside. Just take a listen. Size have no barrier on beauty. I am Lorene Coleman Ross, the director of the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant, a division of the Miss Full Figure USA national brand. We seek to promote positive body image amongst women, fostering sisterhood, networking, and empowering through positive competition. Miss Full Figure serves with the community, inspiring conversation, gives a voice and platform to women, and live by the motto, size have no barrier on beauty. We believe that beauty is important from the inside out. However, giving back is a priceless opportunity to enrich the progression of humanity. Through the pageantry experience, we focus on building self-confidence, empowerment, and inspiring others while serving the community in the D.C., Maryland, and Northern Virginia area. Our unique network of like-minded women is a dynamic experience that is centered around service, upliftment, lifting, encouragement, accountability, and loyalty. We support each other in unity, strength, and inspirational empowerment. Our family identity is based on the acceptance of each other, forming an unbreakable bond. Well, without further ado, I'm bringing in my two sisters. Hello, Queen Relita. Hello, Queen Dr. Christy.
Hello. Hi.
Oh, I appreciate you ladies for being here with me tonight. As we all know, I'm very in saying your time is your most valuable asset, and both of you are spending that time with us and those who support us and the sisters that look upon us as well. So thank you for joining me tonight.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna dig right in. At first, I'm gonna start with Queen Doc. I'm gonna just go with Queen Doc right now. Okay.
All right, let's hit it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Queen Doc first. Queen, can you just give people just a little bit more about who you are and what sisterhood means to you?
Well, as you know, my director has already said I'm Dr. Christy Thompson. I am a pillar in the educational community. When I competed in the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant, my platform was empowering at-risk African American males towards their destiny. That has been my passion for years. It will continue to be my passion. I have two sons in which I continue to pave the way for in order for them to have a free and appropriate education. What sisterhood means to me is to provide a network of women who have like minded visions and help them bring their visions to fruition.
I love it. I love it. Queen Relita Clark.
Yeah, yeah. Hey
A
guys.
little bit about you, baby, and what does sisterhood means to you.
So a little bit about me. I'm a serial entrepreneur. We've got several businesses going on this side of the world. But the premise of all of my businesses are to help others succeed in their area and their path in life. And that was part of what my platform was in 2017, where I focused specifically on the adolescent females ages 17 through 25, and encouraging them, uplifting them, and helping them to see a different avenue or a different way or a different career to go in besides your standard 9 to 5. Now, there's nothing wrong with the 9 to 5, but there's not enough women entrepreneurs out here. Let's just be completely honest, right? Women can own businesses, they can run businesses, they can be great at it. And that was part of what I wanted to exude inside of my platform for 2017. It's still something that I continue to do. I've actually switched it a little bit more into a nonprofit now, which is great, called Rare Gems, which will be launching later in 2022. But it's the same premise inside of our pageantry system. I want to be here to help these other young ladies be successful in their journey to the crown. Sisterhood to me is much of what the definition says, as you heard, which was awesome. I love all of my queens for sending those words and being challenged to really put that together. But for me, sisterhood is a bond amongst each other that is undescribable, something that you can't really put into words. It's more of a feeling, right?
Mhm.
I enjoy supporting other women. I enjoy knowing and getting to know other women and what they do and what excites them. So sisterhood to me is really a bond that is undescribable, and it's more of a feeling.
I love that. You're right. You're a serial entrepreneur, though. I'll tell you this: you never lack in the ability to earn income,
That's
and,
true. Multiple
and
streams. Got a million to make this year. Got a million to make.
and teaching other people to well. So I appreciate you both of this. So, going to me and what I believe sisterhood and which is the one thing I held on to once I competed in 2016 was the fact that I knew it was only going to be a certain amount of crowns, right? What would be the other thing that I would take away from this process to be able to have another win, another crown? And that thing for me was to make relationship with like-minded women and the ability to be a part of their world unconditionally. Real sisters fight, right?
Yes.
Real,
Yes,
real
they do.
family members have disagreements. It's all about that one thing that we talk about in every time we get a new season is the long as you show respect, you can get through it. You don't have to like one another all the time because I mean, come on now, we're human. There's going to be some things that's going to pretty much aggravate you, right?
Oh, yeah.
And and it happens, but it's about how you deal with it. Sisterhood to me means that you take the opportunity to give into each other. You give to each other in certain ways. It's not always about giving money or stuff like that. It's about sometimes being a listening ear,
Mhm.
being something that can identify with you or finding a common denominator that makes y'all connect because there might be all the things that don't. Some people may know that I lost my sister, unfortunately, to DC violence. She was murdered. And when I lost my sister, just like most younger people and sisters that have it becomes you become regretful in the things that you didn't do. Like,
Mm.
oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and we argued a lot, and I just wish there's no more of that. Like you can't, there's no I wonder when. So when we came about, when I was asked to be a director, the first thing I said was, I'm going to make this as an experience that you can take more than just a journey to a crown from it, just more than it. And this is why we now have our sister circle definition, because people dig back into it. This is why we have our sister circle crest that a lot of people are like, oh my God, what is that? Listen, it has meaning to it. And this is why we are doing what we're doing now, right?
Absolutely.
So coming back to some of the other things that we deal with, let's talk about, truly getting into this for the right reason. Do we truly know why people getting into this? Do we truly know, Doc? Do we truly know?
I think everyone has their own individual rationale for joining this process. When I joined the process, I was new to the area and I really wanted to meet some like-minded women, which I've shared in all the different platforms that I've spoke on. That was my main motive and objective. I only had a few college friends in the area. And so I just wanted to spread my wings beyond the office. You really can't really socialize so much when you are in leadership roles. So I wanted to branch out. And that's why I decided to join the process. During my process, I had 14 like-minded women. I made 15, the fabulous 15. Hey. And to this day, I have a good relationship with them all. Some of them we're still just casual associates, but there are others that I've traveled all the way to Paris with to support. So that goes to show you, I was just out on an outing with two of them on Friday. So we're constantly building our relationship. And the individual who actually got me to come in the process, Queen Lisa, in which I became her successor. Yeah. So that was exciting. And she told me on Saturday, we were joking around. I said, you know what? I'm about to fire you as a friend. She said, oh no, you stuck with me for life, honey. So that just goes to show you that if you come in with a positive attitude and pour into others, they will pour into you.
Yeah.
And I agree. King Relita, let's talk about the, sisterhood period, but the people involved in sisterhood. I have heard over the time, I usually get the end of the stick where though people would say, some of this sisterhood is not what it says it is. It's this, it's that. And my belief is that the sisterhood is there, is whether or not you want to connect to it. And you cannot blame the sisterhood for not connecting to a personal person. Like, because you didn't have a connection with that person, you're going to blame it on the sisterhood. What about the sisters that you have made a connection with, that you met during this process? Do that disregard who they are in the sisterhood, or do we make an exception for that part? Because I tend to believe that, we foster some lasting relationships.
Oh, yeah.
That are lasting because they have met during this process and had something in common going through this process. Mm-hmm. But when things get a little shaky, the sisterhood get blamed. What do you think about that?
I want to be politically correct because we all know Relita has no filter, guys. We all know this. But
it's a place right now.
Honestly speaking, and this is just my perception and my experience and what I've done inside of this pageantry journey with the DMV. People always have to find somebody to blame when the things don't go their way, right? There always has to be something to fall back on. I think it's just human nature until you actually get to that point of maturity and grow and said, okay, yeah, I had something to do with that, or I played a piece in what the outcome was in that situation. And I think that a lot of times they fall back on it. Okay, well, I can blame it on sisterhood because nobody's going to rebuttal back. Nobody's going to say anything back because I'm just going to blame it on the whole thing, right? But I genuinely think that the relationships that are formed within this pageantry system are genuine. I can speak for myself in going from 2017 all the way up and through now 2022. And I've grown a bond inside of each of those years. Starting out in 2017, it was 11 of us, 10 or 11. 10. There we go. And some of the young ladies or some of the women that I participated with, I still am in contact with. I'm following them on social media and all of those types of things. And it alludes to what Dr. Christie said, and still having that relationship and creating those bonds, because we had to do it ourselves, right? You can only foster what you're looking for. You can't, if you're not looking to grow a bond with another individual and this is just a competition to you and you just want to win a crown, then cool, that's what you do. But don't blame the sisterhood because you didn't get out of it what you thought or what you might have expected to get out of it, because you played a piece in how that formulated. And I honestly think that these women that have been in this journey and the queens that we now have great relationships amongst themselves and previous years. I actually just had Queen Ebony today. She's like, I ain't seen you on social media, sis. You good? Like, she checked in on me, right? And that for me means a lot more than just a random, hey, how you doing? Like, I actually crossed your mind today and you thought enough of me to check on me. So that tells me that my relationship with her and with all the other participants that I have relationships with they're genuine. They're valid, and we mean what we say. Sisterhood is not a word that we play around with in the DMV. It's not something that we throw around lightly. If you're in this process and you've been invited into this process, it's because you made the decision on top of us making the decision for you to be a part of this. Now you got to do the work, because faith, if you have the faith necessary to complete this journey, you will come out a different person. Absolutely.
And and thank you. Because I have been also told, when I get a little in my feelings when things start to split or something happen within our sisterhood, and I'm like, no, 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 kumbaya, people, kumbaya. And it's like, you have to allow people to work things out, but you can only work it out if you maintain a positive outlook on it. If we focus on anything that becomes negative to it, people make mistakes. People are human. Things happen. And I will say that over and over again. Human, human, human. It don't have anything to do with women versus men and relationships. A relationship requires the same elements. Okay. Two people and the will too.
That's
Okay.
it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it calls. I have a fun fact about both of you, because if you don't know, both of them won Miss Congeniality in their years. Okay.
True.
and, and which means that you were willing to allow others to share what you had to give. Like you was willing to share with others, I'm sorry, what you had to give, which then won over the sisters you were with in your season, and said, you know what? I like her. When that ballot came around, it was like boom, 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 boom. It made me. I just sat here and I was like, "Ooh, that's a fun fact." I'm looking in our book. That's a fun fact. It makes me feel good too. And one thing that I had to learn, because I am in the leadership position of this DMV organization, uh, I used to get like, "What? They didn't tell me I can come. They didn't tell me I can come." But then I had to sit back and say, "Okay, big sister, allow things to happen the way it's happening. Allow them to enjoy their relationships without feeling like it has to be something specific."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you guys were able to do that. Now, Doc, you have became a mentor this year.
Mhm.
Right, right. If you don't know, our mentor program is a volunteer program. So it's not something that they're compensated with money. I'm put it out there. So they are giving their time, and being a mentor, I can tell you this: it is not something for the lighthearted people. Uh, Doc, tell us about your first couple of weeks as a well, been a couple of months now as a mentor. How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I have a what I call a GT group of women. That's the education coming out of me, gifted and talented. Anyway, but it's exciting to be able to pour back into these ladies and provide them the necessary support, just as I received the necessary support when I had Charmaine as my mentor. So it's going well. I have no complaints. And if I do, I know how to switch my head around, and I've already told them that. So They want to see the nice Christy. We're good. But I already told them too, the month end, when it's about time for the pageant, it's going to be drill sergeant.
Okay. Because we believe, honestly, we believe that we want every woman that goes through this process to come at 110. 110. That means that you get an equal opportunity to do your best on that stage, and you get the same information and the same intel as the next woman. And how you filter that and how it works is based on what you put in play, you know. And Doc, I knew when we had our conversation, because you've been talking about being a mentor after you were crowned, because I think you just really like to give. You just really, really wanted to give back, because I know you was like, oh, if I was a this, and it was just like, but I knew it was all from the heart. It was all from the heart. But Queen Melita, this babe, this is your 5th year.
Woo, man, been through a lot. No.
Being a mentor. It's a lot. Can you really talk about the dedication to this process?
Oh yeah. So it is as you stated, it's a voluntary act, right? We have made the decision to say, hey, we want to give back into those, back into the organization that we've now birthed from, right? And the dedication is one, like you said, it's not for the lighthearted. It's not for those who are introverted and timid and needs to sit back and watch and wait, you know. It is for those who can stand the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where you just have to have a lot of time management balance in your life. You need to make sure that you have certain things and days and times that you actually review information, send out information, talk to the girls, make sure they're good. Not to mention that, you know, most of them are sending you personal emails already. So you've got to answer the individual stuff, not only the group stuff, but there's a lot of different components in our mentorship program specifically. But with any mentorship program, you have to have that dedication and time and want to give back, right? It's not something that you're just going to wave your hand and say, oh, I want to do. And then you get into it and you're like, nah, I don't want to do this no more because this is a lot of work. I don't want to do, I got 7 girls, or sometimes it's 8, sometimes it's 9. It all depends on the year, right? But it takes a lot of time management. It takes a lot of organization, and it takes the willingness to want to give back. And I think that is one of our number one traits from any mentor that we've had throughout these last 5 years. And it's definitely one of the talents and the GTs that Dr. Christie has as well, right? Where we just have a want to do, not necessarily better, but we want the girls to have the avenues and the communication and the doors necessary for them to go in and ask the right questions.
True.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about 2017, my dears, was no mentors.
No mentors.
It was me mentor, director, producer, everything, and me crying to my husband, can you help me? And my kids, please help me put this up. Can we do this? And I can tell you this. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for the world, because the impact that I had on our 2017 delegates and the impact the 2017 delegates had on me is what made me who I am today, as we continue to go through all of our seasons and continue to grow as a sisterhood. If you just sit back, I mean, I'm sorry, audience, you don't get the privilege to get our history book, but when we sit down and look at our history book and you look at the women that's inside this book and the information and how talented, gifted, and talented, again, GT, that the women are who came through this process, win, lose, or draw. I mean, baby, we stack it on top of stacks or stacks.
It's amazing to see.
It's just,
Yes.
it's astonishing. I mean, when I was sitting down and we composing things again, I'm like, man, you know. And then people want to know how we get to where we are now is because we show where we came from.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
One of the key things that we do is we show where we come from. So every season get an understanding of what comes through. If you look through these pages, you start seeing people that you look like, oh, okay, now that makes sense, or it's something you identify with and it makes sense to you. And you find where you belong, your niche, right? This is
Mhm.
where I'm at. We know one of the other things I want to talk about is a lot of we're grateful that people look on our sisterhood and see nothing but greatness from us. That's what we see. That's what we strive
Mhm.
for, and that's what we're going to maintain, right? But we have to be honest that we don't have 100% return. You know, we don't have 100% return, but we love them the same. We wish them well. I would never talk ill will to somebody in public. Like a sister, be honest with you. You can't come at me about one of my sisters in public and think it's going to be okay with a conversation. That's
That's
not
right.
going to happen. Just like any other family, I cannot like my sister, like I don't know, but if you try it, no, no, ma'am, we don't
You
have
can
that
get
type
what's
of
coming to you.
comfortability here.
You
Yeah,
can get what's coming to you. Absolutely. If you
yeah,
say
you don't have that privilege. You don't get to do that. And that's all the way to the ones who probably don't even want to be connected to us no more.
mhm.
You never know how people really going to feel after pageant day, because everybody feels something different after pageant day. But we attempt to groom our delegates to understand that the majority won't get the crown
That's a
because it's only
fact.
three crowns.
Yes.
So
It's
the
only three main
majority,
crowns.
it's only three main crowns. And this year we have 11 beautiful delegates. Man, we have 11 beautiful delegates. When I tell you these women about to be fire on fire, y'all have no
Mhm.
idea. By the way, we do it every year.
We do.
So don't expect anything less.
We do.
Just put it out there like that.
Yes.
Just put it out there, because you attract who you are. Sometimes you realize
Mhm.
that even in a sisterhood, you attract who you are. People see things that they can identify and be like, I want to do that because I see myself doing that because of that person.
Yeah.
It's not that they want to be like that person. It's
No.
an attraction to what they got and saying, this is where I want to be. Uh Relita, it's been 6 years, right?
6 years.
6 years, right? And would you say that you had moments when you were like, no, let me not answer that way, because then I mean I'm answering the question for you.
Okay.
Have there been a moment where you doubted your decision to be a part of this process?
Absolutely. I can't even hesitate in answering that. If I'm going to be 100% transparent and be the real person that I know to be, I will tell you that there, especially what was it, 2017? Yeah. Um, Talent, I definitely didn't want to do talent. Let's just talk about it, guys. Didn't want to do it.
Me
But,
too.
but I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it because why not? It's
Mhm.
another opportunity for me to be on the stage. Let me, just get some jitters out because so my talent, if those of you who do not know, my talent in 2017 was that I sung Sam Cooke's "A Change Is Gonna Come" a cappella. I don't tell many people that I can hold a note. Okay, let's just say that. And when I do hold a note, I have my twin sister sitting right next to me, and you can kind of see her right back there. You see her? There she goes back there. Um, but I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was gonna be on the stage by myself, and I called Lorene and I said, "I'm gonna pull out a talent. I just think that this is the time." It was
I
right
did the
before I
same
could
thing.
actually it was like last minute pull out. And I was like, I don't want to do this. This is not. I'm nervous. And she's like, she talked me off the ledge. Um, and that for me showed not only her ability to want me to succeed, but also just the genuineness that she had in helping me feel better and help me get out of that anxious and nervousness state. So that's one incident. But there have been times just in this mentor journey where people have tested me, and there's nothing like a test without a testimony, because at the end of the day, I'm going to overcome anything that's thrown out to me because I'm a child of God, number one. Number two, I'm Relita Clark, and I was born by Reginald Clark. So I know that I've got the gall to keep going, right? So it there are times where you feel like, oh, should I do this? Did I do the wrong thing? And I had been modeling for 13 years at that time. where I was like, I get on the runway. I can pump a runway all day long. I can talk. I don't have a problem talking, but in front of a large audience, I hadn't done anything as such in 2017. And that for me was just another one of those, I don't know if I can do this. But then as you kind of get through the journey and you start understanding more about pageantry, because that was my very first pageant. Had no experience prior to that whatsoever, but the help that you get in the process and the understanding that you get in the process makes things a lot better by the time you get to pageant day. And that was the key for me. It wasn't a, oh, give me your money, I'm going to leave you by yourself type of situation. It was, okay, pay this sponsorship fee, and I'm going to teach you what you need to know about this particular system in order to get to the day of the pageant so that you feel a lot better and more at ease by the time you hit the stage. And that for me was the key in me wanting to continue and helping grow the organization, be a part of the organization, see the next round of girls to come in, walk them through what they need to in order for them to kind of graduate the day of the pageant. So there are times where you may hesitate, but it is the strength in understanding what you have available to you and the people and resources that you have available to you to help you get to pageant day.
True indeed. Well, Queen Doc also had a similar situation. You want to share, Queen Doc?
Absolutely. For those of you who really know me closely, I love my boys, even when they test me. My youngest son, and still is battling with a health condition. And at the time, he was just diagnosed. It was in July. He was in the hospital July 3rd and was in the hospital for 7 days after that. I was freaking out, like, I can't do this. I can't do the talent. I'm just going to drop out. I did a spoken word, and I only had half of it written at that time. So I was like, I can't do this. Can I get my money back? No, you can't. I was like, what? So anyway, I shucked it up. My cousin Kim and one of my sorority sisters, we got together and we hammered it out, and I did the performance, and I was pleased with it in the end. So just like with anything in life, when there's not a real challenge, you don't really reap the true reward.
Speak on it, Dr. Christie.
I love it. Yeah, I remember both of those phone calls because they both came to me. And I mean, at the end of both of those phone calls, is like, I know that the end was just believe in you and give yourself grace and patience, and all will be well. And it was. I mean, really, you sung, and you could tell that you had a good time singing. You know, your nerves, you channeled it somewhere, because all I knew was Sam Cooke coming out of your mouth. And Doc,
I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. The only way I made it through was because Renita Clark was literally standing in my peripheral on the side of the stage. That is the only way I made it through that whole entire scene. Yeah, she was right there. She was there. I could see her. If I turned my head this way, she was right there.
Twin Power. Well, Doc, you know, we made it a production, baby. That thing came out so nice, and you know, she had the visuals, and she was speaking, and she felt that stage, honey, because you weren't keeping her in one space, baby. She walked that whole entire stage, and it was just amazing to see. All in all, to say, it's just a token that we get to share as sisters and people who get to be a part of what we got going on. If you want to know where it's at, go to our YouTube page. You'll find it. You'll see.
And not to mention, I went through a lot trying to get the music to hit where it needed to hit when I was doing the spoken word. So a big shout out to DJ Nice. He helped my sister out.
He did well.
He did.
So, ladies, I mean, I'm going to go into some of our quotes because, again, we want to talk about sisterhood. We talked about the good. We talked about a little bit of the bad, a little bit of the ugly, but the wonderful. Let's talk about the wonderful. When we found our sisters in need, that doesn't have anything to do with pageantry. Just like I'm sure Doc got so many calls when her son was in the hospital and people trying to figure out what's going on with her and making sure she okay. Relita, with the loss of your father and the way we pulled out and the way you allowed us in, ain't nobody always like that. And just speaking for myself, y'all been with me with losing two brothers, a grandfather, and a grandmother. And that's just the little family things that we deal with, you know. But let's talk about celebration. You remember my all white birthday party? Hey, one of our pioneers just joined us, Sister Aquila. I'm sorry.
Maybe. Hey,
Hey,
sis.
um, and of course, there's multiple other sisters on the line as well, but she's one of our pioneers. She's part of the perfect 10 that
That's right,
happened in
baby.
2017, the pioneers, you know. But we found ourselves being supportive to our sisters and things that they do. You know, we have things that
Mhm.
you doing the event. I can't come, but I'm gonna buy a ticket, you know, or I'm gonna be there. How can I help you in any type of way? You know, whether I can stay for a short period of time or a long period of time. You know me, I'm always running. I'll be like, what's up? My foot in. All right, bye. Gotta go to the next thing. You
And
know,
that's the truth.
you know, but the point is that you have that group of women who will be willing to be there for you. Yet again, let's talk about the fact that it's not everybody. It's not 100%.
No.
It's just not. I would
And
love
that's
to
okay.
rich.
You know, it's if you can get 100% return, that's fabulous. That's great. Did a great job, right? But even if you can say, I got 10, 20% return, the fact that somebody thought about returning, that's the blessing in it all, because they don't have to. You don't have to. You can go to pageant day, go on about your way, and never speak about the pageant again if you don't want to. But the greatness in this particular division is that we've instilled and believed in them enough for them to turn back around and believe in this organization enough to want to continue.
Amen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amen. And generally be affected by it in a positive way. So,
Mhm.
you know, let's just someone had mentioned, Lorene, every year, you know, because when we go to nationals, when we lose the draw, baby, we in there deep. I don't care what's happening, I'm gonna lose my voice. If we don't rep
Yes.
ourselves, who gonna rep us, right?
Right.
So every
Exactly.
time it is my duty to make sure that the women who goes into the national stage, they go in with the energy they need to get through that process, right? So baby, if you haven't been watching uh our Instagram or my Facebook page, you will notice every time we go to nationals, baby, we like woo woo, we in there until they get to
Yes.
that door. And even then, I'm like, are you got it? You know, we want to make sure they understand that they have the support they need when they get up there. If you don't hear nobody else,
Oh, you gonna hear us.
you gonna hear us.
Yes, I remember hearing Walita say, "Go, Dr. Christie." It's like, okay.
I don't look.
I see you, Doc. I said,
You
that
know,
is Relita.
you know
You
it,
can
and
hear her over the video.
I'm gonna make sure that I scream your name. If you were from the DMV and you hit that national stage, you're gonna know that Relita Clark was there to support you because you're gonna hear me. And I
Yes,
think that's just a great part of the sisterhood, right? Like, who wouldn't want to have somebody cheering their name to the top of their lungs while they're on stage trying to present
exactly.
themselves the best way they possibly can? And I do that every single year, and that will never ever change. Just last year, I was sitting in the audience, so it was just a little bit louder because normally in the back, and you normally don't hear me because I'm all the way in the back. But it was a
We had a
pleasure to
great
actually
time.
sit after 5 years of helping our queens in the background or in backstage. It was an honor to sit and watch you guys on the stage and to see where you started out at, with some of you not really doing pageantry, where you've been modeling and doing X, Y, and Z, to where now you are a pageant queen. And I
Mhm.
take pride and joy, even though Dr. Christie, you weren't my mentee, but every delegate that comes inside of this organization, I take pride in you being a part of this organization, because it not only represents your director, it represents me as your first queen and everybody else that followed behind me. It's not just one individual who made this organization happen. Yes, it started with one, and she did an amazing job in creating what we have today. But it takes a village and a team to help you propel and elevate to that next level. Without a team, you're going to be stagnant. You got to have
Absolutely.
people to support you.
And on that note, that reminds me of being backstage when I competed in nationals, and to hear another, I guess, delegate for nationals from another state look over at Keisha and JL and I and say, I want what you guys have.
Mm.
And we're like, what? What are you talking about? Because we're like
That's normal
flabbergasted.
to
What are
us.
you talking about? I want the sisterhood. You guys are so, together every year. You come to nationals. You guys are dressed alike, and it's sincere. Y'all having a good time, and I can see that you guys really have a relationship, the three of you. And we did. I mean, we even now, as a royal court from 2019, we are still dressing alike in colors on the scene, coordinated, not a problem.
Okay.
So, I just was, flabbergasted that this young lady was like, I really want what the DMV has.
That says a lot about our legacy. It says a lot about our history. It says a lot about who we are and how we support each other. And that if number one, if we're not going to do it, or if we didn't want to do it, we wouldn't be here, right? So we're going to see it through to the end. But we're not going to be fake. We're not going to be phony about it. I'm going to support you the same way I would want you to support me, and vice versa. And I believe that just is a testament to the foundation that we've built upon over these last 6 years, and it's definitely never going to change. So nationals, you have my word, Relita Shanae Jordan Clark. You will hear me again screaming for my girls, and it will be a DMV takeover.
I was too excited that my girl came back and got the crown, because I was first runner up, and I was like, okay, I need you to handle it. And she handled the business. That's my girl.
Shout out to our USA queens, Ebony, Sharmika.
Yes, the first exquisite queen.
Yeah,
And it's
so funny. I like the fact that it shows our growth, though, because on that note, Doc, for Miss Full Figure DMV, MSFF DMV takes over USA. I'm so proud of it. The home of 5 national queen crowns, 3 national royal court placements, 2 national auxiliary court queens, and 4 national people choice awards.
Wow.
In our time frame.
Wow.
We literally average a queen per year from nationals. And honestly, the first year we went, we was like, okay, that's what you want. All right, we get it, we see it. We see it, we see it.
Came back and got 2 crowns.
That's right.
2 crowns. And Queen Lisa also did an amazing job. Then we came back again with our 2020 queens. First runner-up, 1 second runner-up. We was placed on the podium. Come on now. Every girl placed on the podium. Then we came back. We said, oh, we see something new. Okay, all right, we see it. We see it. And then we had 3 national crowns, our very first Queen Suite of the Miss Full Figure USA brand and a Miss Full Figure USA DMV. By the way, let me make sure I make this very clear. I know for a fact that every director in this process worked hard for their women.
Absolutely.
To do 100%. So it's never easy. This is not an easy situation because everybody come in with the mindset to be that one. You know what I mean? So you can't sleep on nobody. And that's exactly what we tell everybody. What you see, what you think what you should know, all that other stuff. No. What you need to know is what you need to bring. You need to look in that mirror and be in competition with yourself. Because if you try to compete with left and right, you ain't going to make it. You can't drop it. You can't assume, oh, I can be, I'm not going to worry about this or worry about that, baby. I can tell y'all this. On pageant day, all my sisters transformed. They shapeshifters. All of them. All of y'all. I be like, where she came from? What is that? Makeup snatch, body snatch. Wait a minute, where that waistline come from? It is there. Everything turned into something else because they've been putting their best foot forward. They know what they're going to look like. We focus them on understanding what they want to be like. But the ultimate thing is after that day. That day is icing, and that's it. The cake, which makes you full, is who you are. Mm-hmm. What you stand for. That's why we go back into the community. That's why we do our best in what we stand for. This is also why it's important to put something that you're passionate behind you in this. Well, let's say in front of you in this. I feel like nobody can match my passion when it comes to the Miss Full Figure DMV brand. I know people will say I love it, but nobody can match it because It was birthed from my urge to make sure that this umbrella is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's work that I put in that I don't expect from anybody else. The only thing I expect is respect for
Mm-hmm.
the brain. Because if it was something you digged into, you would want respect for it as well. You will want to make sure that people understand what caliber of nature that this means to you. So you need to respect it and give it its due diligence because it deserves it.
Yeah.
It deserves it. Now, everybody know that everybody like to have a good time. I like to have a good time. Heck, the other day I had a good time.
Dr.
Okay.
Christie is a partier, guys. Just want you to know. She was in. I'm like,
We,
Dr. Christie, where you going this weekend? She got things to do, okay?
we got things to do. We have a good time.
Trying
But
to live my best life. You don't
That's
know how
right.
long it's gonna last, but I'm
right.
gonna live
And
it
then
to
it makes
the end.
sense that we all do. We all do. Because we all what? We all human, baby. We ain't gonna just be just walking around here all stiff and all crazy. But you still have to remember, once you put yourself out there, especially as a queen, there's still a caliber of some things that you have to be aware of.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You have to be aware of some things that you got going on, right? And if you don't no longer want to do that, we understand. That's why I say, we don't have 100%, because believe it or not, I cuss like a seller, but none of the delegates would know it until after pageant day. They know it now, but after pageant day, because I feel like we can come up with better words when we amongst each other going through this process. Broaden your vocabulary to be able to have a conversation without
Absolutely.
having so many fillers that requires a negative back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
why I do that, and it's even to the point that everybody that comes in the process respect that. So they don't do it.
Right.
They be like, nah, this is not what we do this at, you know. Then, but if you go downstairs outside in the parking lot, it's a whole different story, And it's because we show respect. Just like when we talking to our grandparents, ain't no way we're gonna sit up there, be all hooting and hollering with grandma and talking crazy,
That's
you
right.
know. Ladies, I want to read something else real quick. So we have a motto for the Mistful Figure USA brand. The motto is size has no barrier on beauty. Most people limit that to just the outside. They look at it as a physical. Well, I look at it as all around, in, out, physical, everything. What does this motto means to you, Queen Doc?
This motto means to me that no matter my physical, I will say, appearance does not hinder me from accomplishing any goals that I have set for myself. Stigma in this economy today always had the skinny woman in the pageantry or what have you, but it let me know that I can break down all stereotype walls and do it well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say our CEO and founder, Teresa Sparkle Randolph, had something special when she came with this motto because it can
Yes.
give different variants.
Yeah.
Also, another great quote from my good inaugural queen has been and now is one of the quotes that we say, which is stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
That's
Come
it.
on, Queen. Let's talk about that quote.
So, that quote was something that my mother always told my sister and I as we were growing up. Um, she raised us she raised us our whole life, but she was a single parent from what we were the age of 7 up until now. And she always told us, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And we was like, Mom, what does that mean? Like, it's catchy. Like, we like it because we're a fun loving type of family. We like beats, we like singing, we like making up songs. But what does that really mean, Mom? And she's like, you always have to be prepared for the unknown.
Mm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You always have to be prepared for the unknown because you do not know what tomorrow will bring. You do not know what the rest of your day will bring after the Lord wakes you up, but you have to be prepared for all the things that you may encounter. And at that time, it was just going to school, it was elementary school for real. And you just got to go to class, do your work, come home, do your homework, do your chores, and then you can do whatever you want to do after that. And so that is just something that is carried on with me over the years. And now it's something that I literally live by. I really do. And I tell myself every morning, I actually have like little affirmations and stickies and things like that on my bathroom mirror. So in the morning, I actually read my scriptures, and that's the last thing that I say to myself every single day is really to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And it propels me and motivates me to want to continue to move forward in whatever business it is that I'm working on, or whatever client it is that I'm trying to help, or whatever pageantry thing that I might be working on at that period of time, just to continue to propel forward, and to really highlight that if you stay prepared, you'll be all right. And it's just the all right. You just got to get through the all right. You don't got to be perfect.
All right.
You got to be all right.
I love that. So another quote that I grabbed onto from, which is our queen who has the highest title in Miss Full Figure DMV. And she was one of our first duos for the Miss Full Figure USA crown titles. And she was our very first plus queen. And that queen is Queen Latrice Wiggins.
Hi, Tracy.
The quote, ready. I don't know if I can say it like her, baby, because she's sassy, but I'm going to try. Size, beauty, and confidence can live on the same hanger. Honey, I absolutely love that quote.
Yes.
To me, it basically say, baby, don't limit yourself. It can hold everything. Just go ahead and put it up on there and hang it up for people to see. And I freaking love it, which brings me to saying that this is why we are more than a pageant. We are sisterhood like no other. Baby, point blank, period. And that's how that's going to wrap up. Ladies, I adore you and appreciate you so much. And trust and believe, I do know doing it by myself from my own experience is not that I can't, but I'm blessed that I don't have to. And what you put into this process makes me so grateful, so grateful. Because again, this is you using your time, which is one of your most valuable assets, to be a part of these women's journey over and over and over again. And it takes the miscongenialities of the world to do that.
There's nothing like us.
Nothing like us.
To tell you.
It's super awesome. So tell everybody good night, ladies. I just want to appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oh my God. I'm going to say good night to them. Good night, good night, good night. Listen, if you haven't got anything from this live, get this from it. Be willing to learn your common ground with the relationships that you build moving forward. Be willing to learn your common grounds with the relationships moving forward. Now I'm going to do just a little something. If you haven't already, let's just say, if you haven't already, I'm going to encourage you to do the following. That's right. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, baby. Why wait? Go ahead and go and hit the button that says subscribe. And if you haven't already, join us on IG as well, which is at Miss Full Figure DMV Pageant, at Miss Full Figure DMV Pageant. And are you prepared? Because we are saving the date. Why? Because we're back at home at the Art Theater, baby, for our 6th annual Miss Full Figure DMV Pageant, Save the date. It is going to be Saturday, August 20th at 5 p.m. at the Art Theater, Washington, D.C., off of Mississippi Avenue in Southeast, honey. Tickets will go on sale at the end of the month. How do you get your tickets? Stay tuned to our IG page. It's going to be on. It's going to be beautiful because it's the year of the heart, honey. It's going to be an event where we're asking our guests to deck themselves out in red. Well, we call it scarlet and black. Okay. Have fun with that. And then if you, well, you already know, it's about to be nationals. Nationals 22 nationals. Yes, I'm having a good time because our 2021 queens are gearing up to give that DMV swagger with that grace and poise on that national stage. Well, guess it's gonna be in Atlanta, the ATL, honey. You got to stay tuned to the Miss Full Figure USA IG page to know when those tickets go on sale and get all the digs on how you can come and support your DMV queens. Or if you at another state, baby, come and support any of our Miss Full Figure US brand queens, honey. We're going to all be in the building. Let's blow the roof off of that convention center, honey. Be so loud, they're going to be trying to put us out. A convention center. All right, loves. I'm getting a little hype because you know what? I really enjoy what I do. My passion for this, again, I don't think many people match it, but I appreciate you trying. If anyone haven't told you tonight, just remember one thing that God has always taught me is to love my brother, my neighbor, my sister. So guess what? I love you. Have a good evening. Take care. Bye.